Coming up on Mountain News this morning, one Eastern Kentucky family is homeless after a huge rock came crashing down close to their home.
And the search continues for a man who is accused of robbing an Eastern Kentucky bank.
And some new manufacturing jobs are on the way in Perry County, and sooner rather than later.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. It is 6 o'clock a.m. I'm Will Puckett.
And I'm Madison Pergrove.
Thank you for tuning in to Mountain News this morning on this Madison.
Friday.
It's Friday, and the good news is we might see a little less rain than we planned at the beginning of the week, but your weekend, at least your Saturday, is still going to be soggy. Let's focus on Friday right now. Let's bring Brandon in this morning. Brandon, what has changed in our Friday forecast that's going to allow us to stay relatively dry?
Well, the warm air continues to push in, and it's a drier air too, so that's helping to kind of negate some of the effects of that front that's approaching. The front actually potentially slowed down a little bit overnight as well. Let's take a look at those temperatures. Look at the surge of warmth this morning. Middlesboro, I don't know if the sensor's acting up or if it's just they're having crazy temperature swings this morning. They went to 50, went back to 49, and now they're at 42. So I'm not sure what's going on down there. Maybe a malfunction at the sensor, but everybody else staying stable there in the 50s this morning. The warmest spot in the region, London, Williamsburg, and Jacksboro, literally straight down the I-75 corridor into East Tennessee, all at 57. That is anywhere between 13 and 25 degrees warmer this morning than it was this time yesterday morning. 66 today, maybe a little bit better. Mainly cloudy skies, some sunshine at times, some stray shower possibilities, but the winds will be cranking. Could see 40-mile-an-hour gusts at times. We'll talk about the extended forecast in a little bit. Will?
All righty, Brandon. Thank you, sir. Well, a family in Clay County have been without a home for 3 weeks after a boulder almost crushed their home.
Angela Combs and her family were in the living room of their home in the Anita community. She says they heard a loud rumble and a noise that sounded similar to thunder. Her husband yelled for her and the 3 kids to run out of the house. Other rocks hit nearby and caused damage.
This is where that rock, I guess it broke off of some of that whenever it fell. And as you could tell by the little marks where it's coming down the ground, it was kind of headed towards, that's my daughter's bedroom, but it went that way instead.
The family is living with Combs' mother-in-law, and she says nothing can be done from local or state government since the boulder is on private property.
A 2-part project in Hazard is nearly halfway complete. Aided some days by warm weather and hampered others by the rain, drivers in Hazard may soon be seeing headaches subside. Here's an update on the Kentucky 15 construction project.
The Transportation Cabinet's motto for the project is pretty straightforward.
It's short-term pain and it's long-term gain.
The phrase short-term may be subjective to some, but to the Transportation Cabinet, it is key.
This is an $85 million investment in state and federal funds in Perry County.
The 2-part project is using a substantial amount of money, and while it has been a headache to drivers at times, there is light at the end of the tunnel.
We're 93% complete on that, and basically all we really lack on that is the final surface.
Now, that is not the entire project. That is just part 1, but it is a step in the right direction.
Part 2, that's the one that causes most of the construction, the traffic headaches there.
It is 59% of the way done, but it is the most in-depth and requires the most tedious work.
Most of the work that's going to be done now that people will be seeing will be building those bridges, pouring those piers and setting the beams.
Work that is engineered to take out traffic lights and keep traffic moving quickly and carefully to help grow Hazard in Eastern Kentucky.
Now, part 1 should be complete this summer, and part 2 wraps up in 2021.
And new this morning, Laurel County deputies say they found a 5.5-month-old baby along the side of the road on Thursday. A 911 caller said she saw Destiny McQueen running down Vaughn Ridge Road and what appeared to be a child lying in the road. Deputies say they later found the infant about 1 mile away. And while talking to the mother, deputies say she started talking about a second child. They say the 2-year-old was found at home with Michael August, and deputies say he was under the influence at the time. Police say the the duo due to the temperatures outside and inside the home. Both children were checked out by paramedics. Both McQueen and August are charged with wanton endangerment, among other charges. And meanwhile, an East Tennessee man is also facing charges, arrested on charges relating to a minor. Kenneth Powers was arrested earlier this week in Campbell County. Investigators say between March and April of last year, he sent explicit messages to an underage girl trying to get her to have sex with him. He's being held in the Claiborne County Jail on a $10,000 bond.
2 women charged in connection to a gas station robbery pleaded not guilty yesterday morning. Jennifer Gray and Courtney Simpson face complicity charges. Police say the women helped Alex and Russell Toothman rob the A&B Quick Stop last month. Surveillance caught the robbery on camera. Gray and Simpson will be back in court next Tuesday. The case against the Toothmans now sits in the hands of a grand jury. Now the search continues this morning for a man police say robbed a bank in Ashland. It happened yesterday afternoon. Investigators say the suspect stole cash from the PNC Bank along Blackburn Avenue. Police say the man took off in a white van towards Oakview Avenue. They say about an hour after the robbery, the van, which was reported stolen in southern Ohio, was found abandoned in an apartment complex. While no one was hurt during the robbery, police say the event was traumatic for those working at the time.
I'm sure that the bank has things in place for that, for those kind of high-profile situations, especially when the use or threat of force is imminent and used against them.
Ashland police say you can use their silent witness program if you'd like to share a tip and stay anonymous.
And a woman is accused of being part of a staged robbery at the convenience store where she worked. Police in Louisville arrested Shaquille Jackson, and they say last month someone Jackson knew faked the robbery and took cash and lottery tickets. Police arrested Jackson this week. She's charged with theft and false reporting. And in Tennessee, an 18-year-old man is accused of stabbing a woman to death outside a diner in Pigeon Forge. Police say an employee was leaving Sunliner Diner Wednesday night when Gabriel Turcos approached her. The two got into an altercation, and police say that's when Turcos stabbed her. Bystanders tried to help the woman, but she later died. Police arrested Turcos several blocks away, and he's charged with murder and aggravated assault.
Video from outside the cell of Jeffrey Epstein during his first apparent suicide attempt no longer exists. Thursday, prosecutors in the Southern District of New York admitted in a letter that the surveillance video was not properly preserved. Prosecutors also said there was supposed to be a backup system in place, but they also cannot find a copy of the video. They blame technical errors. Now back here at home, in Rockcastle County, a family is without a home after a fire destroyed it. Take a look at your screen. Livingston Fire and Rescue posted this picture on its Facebook page. This happened on 3 Links Road yesterday morning. Thankfully, no one was hurt. It is not clear what caused the fire.
And we are still waiting to learn the funeral arrangements for a grandmother and her 3 grandchildren. The group died when their home caught fire this week in Bell County. A fund is set up at Brooks Durham Home, who is handling the arrangements, and all the money donated will go towards covering the funeral expenses. There is another way to donate by reaching out to Bell Central School. And are you looking for a job in the manufacturing field? Dodge Core Aluminum is coming sooner than you know and is in need of immediate qualified candidates. Die correctors and die polishers are the positions available at the moment, and Dodge Core will open their Perry County facility with a core group of people, 25 people, beginning early March of this year.
They really want the core team to have had some type of manufacturing experience or some type of manufacturing knowledge. Of course, they'll be able to do some on-the-job training with them as needed.
As Dodge Core grows, a total of 200 jobs will be available. They have already received more than 600 applications. And Friday at noon is the deadline to submit a resume for the die positions, and you can find that on our website at WYMT.com.
Fazoli's fans, listen up. There may be a new location coming to Eastern Kentucky. The company's president says they plan to open a location somewhere in Pikeville. Plans are still in the works, but we are told it might be open sometime this summer. If you remember when the one here in Hazard opened, it broke all sorts of company records that first day, week, and month. Now, shopping small never goes out of style, but sometimes it needs a facelift. That is why the Prestonsburg Merchants Network has rebranded. Shop Prestonsburg is a combined effort from small business owners in Peaburg. Its Facebook page is devoted to sharing the sales and events that go on throughout the stores in the community. Heather Owens, one of the group's organizers, says it is all about community growth.
If we stick together and support each other versus being in competition with each other, we can only do better, greater things.
Iron sharpens iron. For more about the group, visit Shop Prestonsburg on Facebook.
The forecast pretty quiet so far this morning. Clouds back and forth, kind of an ebb and flow. I did get confirmation that 42 at Middlesboro is legit. Had a viewer, my friend Floyd, message me and say, hey, I'm in Middlesboro, Cumberland Avenue, and I got 42 on a front porch thermometer. So Floyd, appreciate that. Looking out today, we see again the mixture of sun and clouds. It will be around possibly early, but the clouds are already starting to thicken back up. So again, I don't think we'll see a whole lot of sunshine today. Could see it at times, though. Not going to rule it out. Could see a stray shower or two at times today as well. Looking clear and quiet right now outside the WIMT studios. 42 in Middlesboro there at the airport and on Cumberland Avenue. We also see, again, 50s across the rest of the region. 50 in Wise, 51 now Harlan, 52 in Hazard and Jackson, 53 Pikeville, and 57 along the I-75 corridor from London to Jacksboro. We're looking at the day planner today, taking us up into the 60s later on, maybe getting close to the record of 69 set back on this day in 2018. Will?
All righty, Brandon, thank you. And thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning.
More news is on the way. Coming up, more evacuations are underway as the fires in Australia continue to spread.
And the power outages continue in Puerto Rico following several major earthquakes.